Alright, just like that, another game. I'm going to make this one quick because I'm running out of space on my drive. These media files are gigantic. Nin versus Omnath. Been a couple of patches since I last tried this commander. I don't know if it's still bugged online, but there was a long period of time where you could not get the creatures to increase in size when you added mana to your pool. The battery effect still worked, but it never got bigger, which made it quite a bit worse and nearly unplayable. Anyway, I've got Nin here, playing second, hoping he doesn't get a fast draw, and I've got decent hand. One thing I really like is that if I go, even going second, I can get Nin out and get it active before Omnath can get online, and can shoot it down, which is pretty important actually. 2 mana, alright, nice, he did nothing. So I don't even want to think about remanding, because if I do remand and he just goes up to 4 mana, I lose the ability to do this little Nin trick. Sure enough, third land, Omnath, right on schedule, and I am not unhappy whatsoever to do that. Up to 9. Emerald Medallion, kind of interesting. Certainly good in this kind of a deck. Not so much this guy. Champion of Lambolt. Kind of garbage. We're not going to even bother to shoot it because I've got Earthquake. So I'm just thinking right now I've actually got Muddle too, so I'm thinking about long-term transmuting into Cyclonic Rift and bouncing a bunch of stuff, or just quaking if I get a good opportunity. And I'm keeping the option open to Thirst for Knowledge, depending on what's going to happen here if I decide not to use these artifacts, which is why I didn't cast the top. Oracle. Well, we're just going to remand that. Mana Crypt, a very nice thing to show up. Just to pump his little dork up to 2/2. Vandal Blast. Guess I could clear out the medallion right now. Just get rid of that because it's scary. I'm feeling pretty set up here. Not completely ideal, but next turn I'm going to be able to get either Ancient Tomb or Strip Mine, depending on whether or not he hits another land drop, and use the bauble. And eventually quick away his Omnath. But then he casts Mana Flare for himself, which is going to make things a little bit more scary. So I'm just going to go sack. I thought for a little while about getting the Ancient Tomb, but I figure I might be taking quite a bit of damage, and could actually matter, especially because I've got Mana Crypt in play already. And the other options would just be to get a fetch land in case I draw Crucible. But ultimately, I decide I'm going to go get a Strip Mine because I can shut off 2 mana from his Vernal Bloom and keep him at least below crazy amounts, just at 9 instead of 11, which is kind of Eldrazi range. Because anyone playing with Vernal Bloom, this guy's definitely going to be playing with Eldrazi's. And I have no hard counters right now. And Shackles arrives. God, I love this card. Just amazing. I thought a little bit about playing Shackles and stealing one of the guys, but ultimately it doesn't really serve much of a purpose. I'm kind of in an emergency mode here, given that he's potentially untapping into 11 mana, or actually even more than that. He's got 11 now. Not if I Strip Mine, but so we're going to transmute and go get the best thing against big expensive spells. Mana Drain. Oh, and off the top, and I use my top with the extra mana, I see Forbid, Snapcaster Mage, and some other card, which is not going to be drawn next turn. Strip Mine. We're just chilling here. 2/4. Fierce Empath. Okay, well, that's not too bad. That guy's bad. He's got 8 mana. I'm just sitting here thinking, my god, please just cast that thing. I mean, I've got Mana Drain, I've got Nin active. Seems good. But he's patient, which is pretty admirable, actually. So I'm going to draw a card at the end of the turn and just use Thirst for Knowledge. Because the top's on top, which is nice. And he responds, and I'm thinking, what on earth? Thinking like the only cards he could cast would be Court of Calling, maybe that 4/4 guy with Flash. But instead, he sacks off his 2/2. I guess it's a 3/3 now, and casts Momentous Fall. So he gains 3 and draws 3. And I'm going to draw 3 for free. Oh, that's right, it was Chalice. So we're going to toss the top. No use for that anymore. Artifact. Come on, deck. Copy Artifact. That's actually really quite good, given that I've got Shackles. Gives me a lot more long-term game potential. But for now, we're just going to sit tight, because there's scary stuff in the wings. Shackles comes down. Ugh, didn't we just see this last game? God damn it. Sword of Fire and Ice. And the worst part is I can't counter it. Can't afford to counter this at all, because I get Terastodon and lose, for sure. So I have to let him attack me with a sorted guy and kill my Nin. So brutal. But this is just how powerful Mana Drain is. It's so strong that your opponent cannot be proactive into you. So at the end of the turn I can steal the Empath. Untap. So I've got a little blocker. Poor Nin gets come back. He doesn't have another land, so he's got 6 cards in hand. I'm actually feeling pretty solid here. Cast Oracle, and we don't care about that because we've got the creature destroying machine in play. Priest of Titania. Nice. I'm not the only person who never flips over land with Oracle of Moldea. So 4 mana. And that looks like a perfect target. I just check, make sure. And he's already played a land. And this thing, he taps 2, he gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus a 7th mana. So there's no way for him to get 8 this turn, which is critical. So I'm going to mana drain that, because I really want the mana next turn. Tooth and Nail. Tooth and Nope. So I'm going to flash back, throwing away the Copy Artifact and the Rolling Earthquake, because I really want to keep maximum amount of hard counters, especially because his hand's getting so small now. And I'm going to be able to use a Nin activation. And because anytime you get Nin rolling with Forbid, you want to try to do everything you possibly can to hold on to this card, because it just locks him out of the game permanently. So he attacks. I get to throw away that creature, which is quite nice. It allows me to untap and use the Shackles on the Oracle. And one thing I really like about the fact that the Nin deck has so many Copy Artifact effects, you can safely throw away a card like Copy Artifact and count on drawing Sculpting Steel or the Metamorph later. 2, 3. Speaking of Metamorph, there it is. And I happen to have 4 colorless mana in my pool, so I'm going to have 2 Shackles. I'm going to steal that guy. But we're not going to get land either, because that never happens. But Mystical Tutor, pretty damn good right now anyway. So here he goes, Terastodon. Fortunately, I don't even have to use the Forbid, because I've got Snapcaster Mage. Mana Drain for 8. That's called the writing on the wall. And a quick comeback. Once again, after getting sorted, this time I didn't even have to destroy it, although it was going to become quickly irrelevant due to double Shackles and a whole pile of islands. Pretty awesome game. Love how well this Nin deck performs, even when I don't draw that new red-blue god guy. Eventually he's going to show up and he's going to matter, and I'll have a game for it. See you soon.